Hey everybody, this is Alexander Fitzgerald, or Assassinato, back for CardRunners.com. Well, not back, because I wasn't doing a video before this. I normally say that when I'm doing a multi-part series. But yeah, I am back for you. And today we're going to be doing a classroom-style lesson, although I thought it'd be a little more invigorating not to do just the PowerPoint. So we're going to be using a number of programs and hand histories to illustrate some points. And this one is going to be called How to Study. I brainstormed a bunch of ideas that I thought would be more catchy, like your game on steroids or something, or like never using training anything again, but that's a joke. You always need to be training. However, you can get a lot more out of your training, and we're going to show you how to do that today. And the best way to put that is teaching you how to study, how to think for yourself, how to become a poker professional who works for themselves. And underneath I put a quote: it's not the hours you put in, it's what you put in the hours. I used to train, I used to wrestle in high school, and that was in our practice area. I don't know who said that quote, but I thought it's one of the most brilliant things I've ever heard. And I've been playing poker for about 10 years now for a living. Yeah, about like 9 officially for a living. And you know, a year before that I was making, I'd quit my job a year before that to make money. So it's going on a decade. And it's amazing how many incredibly talented people have come and gone in poker. 2-3 years seems to be about the average career. And this has been of great interest to me because I just really enjoy analyzing poker. I really think if this were a game like chess where there really wasn't much money in it, I'd probably still be doing it, just because I like it so much. Of course, I really appreciate that there's money in it, and that does motivate you more, but I do enjoy just the game of it. And as I've come to take on I've had personal lessons with, I think it's 800 separate clients. Many of them we've done more lessons than one. And I've started to see patterns in what really makes a great player and what makes a guy last, whereas who goes crashing down. And we're going to really get into that. And I think this is one of the most important things I've ever written for poker, because this is the question I get the most. How do you study? How do you study, man? How do you stay relevant? What do you do? And I think, first of all, that's a really good question to ask. How do you stay relevant? How do you stay competitive? As opposed to, like, how do I become, like, really rich? Because it really is about work ethic. And more than that, it's about what you put in the hours. And we're going to make sure during this webinar that you are getting way more out of the hours than you ever were before. But first, let's talk about how most people learn. Now, I know this for a fact because I've talked to many, many, many poker players, thousands and thousands. And this is how most of them learn how to play. Well, first they find poker, and poker is really fun. So they play. And they play some more. And after that, they play a little more. And after that, they might play some poker. And then eventually they decide they want to get better, so they watch a training video. Now, when do they watch the training video? Most of them do it at night after they've played a very long session and they're very tired. And actually, there's a lot of research that shows actually some of the chemical components that go into you learning very rapidly are depleted at that time of night, just because of how excessively you've been focusing on a task for several hours. Many of them fall asleep to the training videos. They don't really tactically pick the training videos. Every training video can teach you something really well, but if you really pick them, you could learn way faster. And many of them do not take notes. And the ratio of how much they play to how much they study is like, it's usually about 95% playing, 5% studying. Whereas this is drastically different compared to a guy like Ape Styles, who's been in online poker, one of the few guys who's been around longer than I have. He started in 2004, so he's on year 11 right now. And his ratio is more like minimum 20% studying. And I really think that's how he stays ahead of the curve, and he's one of the best players on earth. And most of the guys who do the 95-5 and not really focused on the 5% tend to burn out pretty quickly.